All right, I'm going to report this since I reported the Noah's Ark. This is a guy, Randall Price. This is evidently an email exchange that was forwarded by one of Randall Price's students. Let me read it. Many of you have seen the preliminary news announcement of an alleged discovery of Noah's Ark by a Chinese expedition team and asked me for clarification. I knew this was coming and have been praying about how to respond. I was with the archaeologist with the Chinese expedition in the summer of 2008 and was given photos of what they are now reporting to be the inside of the Ark. I and my partners invested $100,000 in this expedition, which they have retained despite their promise and our request to return it since it was not used for the expedition. Well, so he has a motivation here. Maybe he's jealous or wants his money back. But let's go on. The information given below is my opinion based on what I have seen and heard from others who claim to have been eyewitnesses or know the exact details. Okay, so it's secondhand information. It's basically hearsay. To make a long story short, this is all reported to be a fake. So he's claiming that he has information from others who know it to be a fake. He's not saying it firsthand. Well, let's read on. The photos were reputed to have been taken off-site near the Black Sea, but the film footage the Chinese now have was shot on Mount Ararat. So that he's admitting the Chinese went to Mount Ararat, but he's saying the photos are a Black Sea site. In the late summer of 2008, 10 Kurdish workers hired by Parachute, the guide used by the Chinese, were said to have planted large wood beams taken from an old structure in the Black Sea area where the photos were originally taken at the Mount Ararat site. They transported that whole structure up Mount Ararat? That's hard to believe, but I guess. In the winter of 2008, a Chinese climber taken by Parachute's men to the site saw the wood, but couldn't get inside because of severe weather conditions. During the summer of 2009, more wood was planted inside a cave at the site. Whoa. They dug out a cave and built a structure inside the cave? That's hard to believe. The Chinese men went in the late summer of 2009. I was there at the time and knew about the hoax. Oh, he knew about it? Or is this the secondhand information? Is he implicating himself as knowledgeable that there was a hoax? And was shown the cave with the wood and made their film. He made the film? As I said, I have photos of the so-called Ark that show cobwebs in the corners of the rafters, something just not possible in those conditions. Cobwebs in the corners. How do they transport a whole building from the Black Sea up to the mountain top and then not disturb any of the cobwebs? I don't understand this. And our Kurdish partners in Dugubabiyets, the village at the foot of Mount Ararat, has all the facts about the location, the men who planted the wood, and even the truck that transported it. Wow. To my knowledge, the Chinese took no professional archaeologist or geologist who could verify or document the wood or the structure in situ, in its place of discovery. Situ. They were duped in 2006 and 2007 by Parachute when they were shown a similar cave with something they thought was wood. I met the Chinese when I went with a team of geologists to examine the wood in the city or the village and to report it was volcanic rock and not wood. Therefore, since the Chinese were apparently able to get permits to climb in previously off-limit sites, I and two other professionals joined the Chinese, bringing our own independent satellite data, and went with them to Mount Ararat in 2008. During this expedition, the guide Parachute, who claimed to have found the Ark, was constantly drunk, and after 1 month sitting in the hotel waiting, the expedition never happened. It was at that time that I made contact with Richard Bright, who has climbed Mount Ararat 33 times in search of the Ark, and with several others climbed the western side of Mount Ararat with a shepherd who has recently been discovered by Dr. Bright's Kurdish partner, who knew the location of the piece of the Ark. Last year we had a good expedition to a higher site, and this summer we will excavate the shepherd site and have every reason to expect success. So it could be that he's just trying to poo-poo their find so he can continue to get money to do his find. So I don't know what his motivation is here. I am sorry to have to report this is apparently a fake, and I am sure that the Chinese do not know this. What? They don't know it? They were inside it. But they do not respond to my emails. However, we do hope to soon have the real thing. He's a competitor. I encourage your prayers for me and others who will have to explain this discovery, puts it in quotes, to many others, because negative reports are never well received and motives are questioned, especially when those doing so are part of a competitive expedition. Well, yeah, I figured that out. But we do not want people to reject the truth of the Bible because another Noah's Ark report turns out to be false. Well, then, why don't you wait until you can confirm, the facts? We prefer to be as clear and upfront as in our reporting as possible so Christians and others can make up their own minds. I hope this will be helpful to you at this time. Well, it'd be helpful if he would report what was hearsay in that email and what was information he could verify firsthand. So on World of the Bible Ministries website, his public statement here he's saying was just a private communication and is not for publishing. And he has not put out, as of this video, he has not put out a further statement. But we're waiting to hear his statement. But it sounds to me like he is casting doubt upon the mission, and casting doubt and claiming that they were planting a entire wood structure up there. So, okay. So anyhow, that's for full disclosure here. This Randall Price is claiming that they're fake, but he is also admitting the fact that he is a competitor and that he's bitter about the fact that they took his $100,000. And so who knows what his motivation really is.